my Bloom sweater and my Jeff Goldblum, because I would love to knit something for Jeff Goldblum. He's just amazing.
Hi, Martina. It's great to have you here with us in Yodoozy Chit.
Hi.
Okay. So, your Instagram, you mentioned that you are the daughter of Mary Poppins and Willy Wonka covered in yarns and colors. That sounds about right about you. So, care to share the scoop behind it?
Yeah, that's something probably silly I thought of, but I love Mary Poppins. I love Willy Wonka, and they are just really creative, really fun people. But I think they are also like always on their own. Like they are helping other people. They are making lives of other people better. But they are on their own. So in my imagination, it would be nice if they got together and maybe I could be their daughter. So it's just something that I admire these two people. They could be one happy family, and I could take the best of both of them. And I'm covered in yarn because I'm always covered in yarn in some layers, or I have yarn in my hands and colors. Yeah, that's
That
the
sounds
same.
beautiful. That sounds like a fairy tale I love to be in. Okay, so your knitting designs, they're like really popular on Instagram. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started and how it feels that fans are really appreciating you and your work?
Yeah, it feels definitely good. It's a nice feeling of the support in the knitting community. And I started by knitting other designs and looking at other designers. And then, yeah, it wasn't enough. I wanted to put some of my thoughts and ideas in the process, and wanted to create something different, something mine. And then people wanted to create it as well. They wanted to knit the socks or the sweaters. But I still I'm at the beginning of my designing journey, but I'm now moving from the creating a design just for me to create it for other people as the pattern with inclusive sizes and yeah, for as many people as possible.
That sounds really amazing. It sounds like you really want to give your art out, and that is beautiful. Okay, so from scarves to gloves to cardigans, you can knit just about everything. Like, we've seen you knit just about everything. So, which is your favorite thing to knit?
Um, my favorite thing to knit, I would have to divide it at least into two different categories, like something I can do and don't have to think about, like socks or gloves if it's with the self striping or self patterning yarn. Um, so you don't have to change the colors, you just knit and you can just switch off, and it's the best relax. Or when I was at the university and I had a lecture, I could knit these projects. But then if you want to be more creative, if you want to plan something bigger, then my favorite projects would be the sweaters or jumpers with different motifs, and it's always a big adventure. Yeah.
Okay. So, could you tell us a little about your journey, where you started, how you took up knitting?
Um, well, I started as a child when my mom taught me the basics, how to knit, how to purl, and I almost gave up at that moment. I refused to practice purling, which was really difficult for me. I I thought, okay, I will just knit and won't do the other stitches. So it was just what I thought at the beginning, but after some practice, I realized it's not so complicated. But then at the university, I met a friend. I was in Germany, and my friend, she knitted wonderful socks, and that was like big awakening for me, because until then I thought, well, knitting or hand knitted things is something that is good, that it's handmade, but it's not usually really pretty. It's not usually something nice. Uh, I still thought handmade presents are the ones you say thank you. It's nice, but you don't wear them, you don't enjoy them. And she actually made socks with sock yarn, and they were just amazing. And I wanted to learn how she made them. So she taught me how to knit socks. And then I joined the Instagram and the knitting community there, and saw the amazing things other knitters do. And it's a nice community, and yeah, it's nice to have some support or inspiration from others. So yeah, and then I just couldn't stop.
That sounds like an amazing journey. I mean, you could overcome, you not being able to knit. You took your childhood up. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you like to share with us a few of your like favorite designs? Could you not talk about some favorite designs?
Um, yeah. We can. Yeah, I would like to start with my No Place Like Gnome sweater, because this pattern is now being tested and will be released hopefully this month. So it's a big step for me. And it kind of connected with the COVID and quarantining, staying at home and enjoying the little things. So I've
That's
got
beautiful.
yeah, here like your own little garden, and with flowers, watering cans and fruits, and your army of gnomes. So I thought I will wear it, but I would get really hot in here. So yeah, so that's a that will be
It
really.
looks absolutely amazing and beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Just
thank
to
you.
satiate my curiosity, how long did it take you to make it?
Um, well, I started with the thought came to me in the spring, like in March or April, because this will be a pattern. So I made one sweater, like the first version, first draft, and then I realized, okay, I need to change something. So I had to knit the same sweater for the second time. But it took me a month to knit the sweater. But then in the summer, I had two sweaters, and I had to work on the pattern and on the grading, and yeah, working with tech designers. And then in September, we started to test this pattern, and I gave the pattern to other knitters so they can knit their sweater, test, and send me some feedback. So it's a long process, not just the knitting, but also the pattern publishing part. So it would be nice to stop just after knitting, but I'm really leaving my comfort zone when I work on the pattern. I would be, yeah. So
I
this,
mean, it looks amazing. So I think it's time really well spent. Looks
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Then yes, the second pattern or design that I'm working on, I'm finishing the sweater version or my version. That's this behind the trees sweater. So there's a lot of trees and foxes, and they don't have eyes and mouths yet. So I will add the stitches later to make the pattern a bit knitter friendlier or a bit easier. So there's only like 3 colors at least in one row, or when it's possible, I chose only 2 colors in one row. So that's something I'm editing, or I redesign, because I made the sweater almost 2 years ago now with short sleeves and yeah, a bit more complicated.
It looks so pretty. It looks so cute.
Thank you. And you can see at the beginning, I was always eager to finish and wear it. And I didn't have time, didn't have energy for long sleeves. So I would just make short sleeves. But then it's not very practical, to be honest. So when you want to get cozy, it's better to have long, or at least some 3/4 sleeves.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. But now I'm making something that's a bit easier or more understandable, and you don't need that many colors, so you don't need to buy so much yarn, and that's easy to follow. Yeah, so we can continue. And then in the spring, I wanted something with flowers, lots of flowers. And
This
and you
looks
can
so
see,
pretty.
and
There's a
someone
bee there. Oh.
somebody is hiding, and that's Jeff
Oh.
Goldblum. That's from the Jurassic Park, because he's always in the bloom. So
It's really
yeah.
pretty.
But that's something I did just as a one size sweater with my own charts, my own notes. So I hope to work on it in the future to make it again and make it available for others. And I want to share one last thing, because I'm a German teacher. So I made a German sweater with German grammar.
Oh.
So that's on my back then, and just how to work with the articles with 4 cases. So that's something. I'm not sure if many people find it useful or would wear it. So that's something I did as a part of my German teacher life.
It's actually very interesting because a lot of people, they have a problem, distinguishing between their professional and their personal lives, especially creative people. So do you think it is difficult for you to make the distinction between like passion and work? What do you think knitting is for you?
Um, Definitely passion when it comes to knitting. And when it comes to the patterns and writing down the pattern, writing down what you need, and then it's definitely work. But on the other hand, with social media content, and when I create reels, when I create something that's takes more than just one day, or that takes more than just a few shots, then sometimes it can feel a bit like work. I do it because I enjoy it, but still it's time consuming, so it's almost like the part-time knitting job.
Okay. So how did you manage to turn your passion into something a little more than that? Were you inspired by someone or by something?
As I previously mentioned, that I met wonderful knitters in real life when we met in cafes and had knitting together evenings, but also online when you meet similar-minded people and you support each other. You see the process of their projects, and when they ask you some questions, you help them, and then when you don't know, they are there for you. So also I'm sure I wouldn't be doing what I do if I were just knitting alone in my room without the knitting communities online and offline. And I'm also part of a group from the UK. It's just a group for like indie small business owners called In Colorful Company, and it's just very nice group for colorful people who create some quirky things from jewelry to designs or just art, and they are also nice to meet. They are great support or someone to share your success with. So we had met actually few years ago. We had different meetings in different cities. So I took the I flew from Prague to the UK just to meet these wonderful, creative, colorful human beings. So it's you can find the community everywhere.
Yeah. It is amazing to have that kind of a community to lean back on. Okay, so your knitting patterns are just very colorful and they're just a joy to watch. So, what would be your advice to people who like to knit very casually, like just something they do as a hobby?
Enjoy the whole process. I mean, it's not a race. Nobody is pushing you. So if you enjoy just knitting a few rows a day, if you don't have more time, just that's fine. And do something that you like, that you want to wear, and that fits your style. And don't focus on the product, but enjoy the whole process. And then even looking for yarn can be wonderful, and doing some difficult parts. Don't rush to the end. It's something I still have to remind myself of. Sleeves take long time. The second sock takes long time, but it's actually part of the whole process that you enjoy. So.
Yeah, okay. So let's do like a quick 5 questions which you can answer. 5 things that you would love to knit next year.
Okay, next year I want to knit a sweater as a birthday present for my friend. So, and her birthday is already in the beginning of the year, at the start of the year. So I'm gonna have to cast on after Christmas and then keep knitting. I would love to make a sweater because I'm English and German teacher. So when I have my German sweater, I need some English sweater. So probably not with grammar, but with some English motifs or London themes. I'm thinking about hiding little Mary Poppins there as well. So
That will look
that,
amazing.
and you can never have enough socks. You can never have enough little presents. and I would love to work on more cardigans, or just to cut my sweaters and put some buttons on them. So
Okay, so 5 positive things that people have told you about your knitting.
yeah, there are always different comments, but I enjoy, or I love when people say that it reminds them of their childhood, or that it brings some nice memories they have. Or when somebody told me that I look with my knitting like a character from Harry Potter or from other books. That's also very, very nice to hear. When I knit on the bus or on the train, it's nice to use it as an icebreaker. It makes people, want to talk to you. And then when old ladies tell me about their own knitting experience and what they did when they had children and grandchildren, it's always nice to hear that they kind of remembered all the beautiful things just when they saw me knitting. I'm just happy when people say that my knitting or my designs make them happy as well. It makes them smile, so that feels really good.
Okay, what are 5 of your favorite knitting patterns?
Favorite knitting patterns. I would have to say, my gnomes are just my baby that I love very much. But also with some basic, some plain knitting patterns for socks or gloves. That's something I knit very often. From the sweaters I have as a plant lady, I have my Monstera sweater. So that's also my favorite pattern.
Oh, that looks very pretty.
Yeah. So boho chic fibers. I think that was the designer. So these are not my designs, but still love the patterns. And or the Harry Potter Slytherin sweater, something I enjoy. Kind of scare. I love scaring my students when I wear a Slytherin sweater, so they are surprised that I think Slytherins need some good and positive representation as well. That would be Bad Wolf knitting designer. And that would be probably from my favorite patterns.
Okay, so 5 people you'd want to knit for.
You mean in general?
It's
or
famous
some...
people, like famous celebrities you'd want to knit for. Who you'd want to see wearing your designs.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna take my Bloom sweater and my Jeff Goldblum, because I would love to knit something for Jeff Goldblum. He's just amazing. And he would look wonderful in something crazy, colorful, and joyful. Then, because I'm a big musical fan, I would love to knit something for the composer Stephen Sondheim, because he's 92 years old. Just not sure if you're over 90, so I think he would need and appreciate something cozy and warm, and he would just, it would be really good to make something for him. And Julie Andrews, the iconic Mary Poppins actress, would be my next choice. And last one, somebody who wears also creative, or not creative, sorry, colorful and crazy things, is the comedian Pete Davidson, because he's just very funny and a really nice guy. So yeah, these would be my famous people.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So, what advice do you have for someone who has no idea about knitting, but they want to learn, they want to start this journey somewhere? What advice would you have for them in terms of, equipment, cost, and how they can start essentially?
Uh-huh. Find the local yarn shop. Find where you can go and buy yarn, because people will tell you something about yarn if you ask them, and they will help you. They will tell you about the needle size and what you need to buy. Then it's not just yarn. There are different materials you can knit with different types. So just touch everything and choose with all your senses, and plan what you want to knit, and what you need, like what yarn, what needle size you need, so that you don't buy everything, but you end up with nothing for a pattern. So don't buy too much, because you don't want to have a big stash and keep buying yarn and not knitting with it. So and last thing, I would say, don't buy a set of needles when you're at the beginning. You can buy individual knitting needles or a whole set. So don't buy the set, because it's more expensive, and you don't know if you'll end up knitting just socks on small needles, or you will do some chunky yarn knitting. So you don't know if you're going to use all of them. So maybe you realize, oh, you don't like these needles at all, and you won't need anything.
Okay, that sounds like great advice, which we hope that people will take. So, what more can we expect from your Instagram account in the future now?
I would like to continue doing what I do. I would like to design my own pieces, my own patterns, but also knit some basics, or knit some patterns of other designers. And I would love to continue doing some stop motion videos, something I enjoy doing. And it also helps for you to see, oh, this is how you make socks, when you see how a sock grows in the video in 1 minute or in few seconds. So I would like to continue doing the how I knit, so small tutorials, and just connect with other artists and or fiber artists and work on something together.
So, before we close this interview, what would be your message for our audience?
So just in general, find something that makes you happy, and keep doing it, or do it as much as you often, so you can inspire other people, and that you can do something that brings you joy. And if it makes you happy, you can inspire other people, and it can make them happy as well.
Wow, that's such a beautiful message. So, on that note, thank you so much for being here. It was just so much fun talking to you. You're just such an amazing, beautiful, happy person, and you bring so much joy. Just talking to you brings so
Thank
much
you for
joy.
inviting me. Yeah, thank you so much for.
On that note, we would like to bring the session of Yodoozy Chit Chat to an end. Thank you so much for being here. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.